is. It makes me sick.
Look, another glorious morning. Makes me sick.
It is October, which means it's officially spooky season. It is a time when people just don't judge me for my hippie, witchy, autumnal, and just absolutely bonkers ways. So this video is going to be jam-packed full of DIYs and all these little things I did to get myself ready for the Halloween season. I felt like going nuts for Halloween this year because I felt very inspired, and also we kind of have to be a little bit inspired because we're going to be staying indoors for sure for Halloween this year. So grab a cuppa, get cozy, and stay tuned for some of those DIYs. I've always loved Halloween, even though it really wasn't a big deal in Australia. My first costume was a witch, of course. And I think I've been a witch every year except for one year. I was Miss Frizzle and then a mermaid Jedi. But wait till you see what I'm making this year. Now, growing up in Australia, Halloween really wasn't a thing. There was the occasional trick-or-treaters. Of course, I ended up organising all the trick-or-treating and spooky parties. But moving to the UK, I saw that Halloween was a bit of a bigger deal here. And that got me thinking, like, oh, Halloween comes from this place. When we get all the pagans celebrating Samhain, Day of the Dead, All Hallows Day, and any word you use in this category. But that's why I love living in the UK, because not only can you buy the decor, there is a real sense of like this autumnal feel, and you're really in the season to celebrate Halloween, which is so cool. So my Halloween in particular is about watching Hocus Pocus, and then having blood and guts, spaghetti bolognese, and then a pumpkin pie, followed by a midnight margarita, before maybe watching Practical Magic, Charmed, or Sabrina, or any witchy movie. All Hallows Eve, Halloween, Samhain, whatever you may call it, where the spirits cross over the veil between the worlds, where they're able to come visit. So what they would do to help guide these spirits, the pagans would light bonfires, maybe throw some things into it, if you know what I mean, and then also dress in a manner that would ward off the spirits, because there is nothing worse than bad spirits tapping on the window on Halloween. Ugh. This time of the year is also about the harvest, the change of seasons, and preparing ourselves for the winter. So for example, we have these jack-o'-lanterns, and now they're used to scare off spirits and, you know, keep them away, because we just don't want them. Like, now it's all about fun, but they do have a purpose and where the history comes from, which is just fantastic. But if only these pumpkins would ward off the people on my street from stealing the pumpkins. So that's why the pumpkins stay inside. Devastated. I cannot wait to live in a country village where I can have pumpkins galore on my driveway and be a crazy old lady. Yes! Now that's just a really tiny little intro about Halloween, but if you're interested in going through the full history of Halloween, I'm so more than happy to create that video. Maybe next year, because fingers crossed for me, and cross everything and just pray to all gods that we can travel next year so I can actually go do Halloween in Salem. Oh, it's a dream. And then also, you know, I would just have to fly to Mexico the next day so I could go do the Day of the Dead in Mexico City. Dreams, dreams. If you enjoy discovering different cultures, head to my vlog from last year where we went to Edinburgh, to the top of Carlton Hill, to the Samhain Fire Festival, where there was pagans and fires and wee beasts and lots of fabulous dancing in the hill. It was such an amazing experience, and it's totally worth it. But this year, as I said, we'll be indoors. So let's get ready for Halloween indoors for lockdown. So one of the things I saw was for Halloween having these little black trees, and I thought, oh, that's a great idea. I can hang it off the front door, extend my decor outside, and so the neighbours can see it as well. So one of my evening walks, I found some really great sticks, and you know, I did look insane to everyone walking around the park, but that's okay. I'm so okay with being the crazy woman in the park that dances and sings when she walks. So I went to painting these sticks, and I think it turned out really well, creating a really focal point for the entrance of my doorway. And then I put some spider webs in it, and I cut up some little sparkly black bats that would sit perfectly on it to give it a little zhuzh. all my fellow witches, it is so difficult where to leave your broomstick, especially in London. The fear of someone stealing your broomstick, oh.
Wow, deep brew.
Now, I have seen so many different Halloween doormats, and I wanted to use inspo of this picture I've been using for years that I stuck on my front door and transport that down to a doormat. So I purchased a doormat from IKEA that was really cheap and it was so easy to paint on. You can either print out what you want to paint and use it as a stencil, or you can also use freehand. Then by using a ruler as a guide, I was able to do the lettering with a Sharpie and use what I printed as a focal point. And in the long run, I found it easier to dab the paint onto the doormat to make sure it was a block colour through. So I needed to make sure that everyone knew exactly where they could park their broomsticks by writing that down and then having a little broomstick painted onto the doormat. Now, do you ever get heartbroken your pumpkins don't last all October? So using some of the best autumnal colour fabrics that I had to give that Halloween autumn vibe, I created as many pumpkins as possible in all shapes and sizes. I sewed the side seams up to the top, leaving the bottom open to stuff in that pumpkin, and then hand sewed it all together. I found some cinnamon sticks were perfect for the stook and I hot glued them down. I did forget to film how I did this, but using these LED lights, I got the battery socket, I wrapped a ribbon around it like you do with a present so it was tight, did a knot, sewed it to the tip of the hat, and then I scrunched up the LED lights because they were on a wire, and then I was able to like scrunch it up and then just sew in little spots so they didn't fall down, and I think the effect was really amazing. This took the longest to make, and you kind of have to be an adept seamstress to do this look. I saw this amazing picture of this collar, and I've always wanted to have a collar to wear in autumn, and I thought this was perfect, so I set to work making my own little ghosts that I thought were cute and not too scary, and I could wear it with any outfit. So using 2 pieces of black chiffon, 1 piece of cotton drill, you're going to cut them out with a collar pattern that you already have or a collar that you want to create. And then with your little ghostie that you've designed up, you're going to attach it to 1 layer of chiffon and the only layer of the cotton drill, and then you're going to buttonhole stitch around it so there's no fraying, and then you can do some embroidery stitches for the eyes and the nose, and if you want to put a little smile as well. That you put the second layer of the chiffon on top, you're going to sew around the bottom edge and then bag it out, and then you're going to attach it to either like a ribbon underneath or you could have a false placard that you can slip around your arms, which is what I did. And then you've got this amazing little collar that you can wear with anything. I've been following this lady on Instagram for years. Hot Pink Pineapples is a fantastic interior decorator. I think she actually has a degree in film, and she used to work in film sets in LA, which is awesome. And every year she does some really cute Halloween costumes, and this year she did a really simple Halloween reverse tie-dye scenario where she took an orange sweater and she tie-dyed it with bleach. Now I had to do the other way around by using a cream sweater and then getting orange dye, but I'm so happy with the result. It's by far my favorite thing that I've made for Halloween this year. Now this was another t-shirt that I saw floating around the internet. Oh, it is so cheeky and cute. It's very clear that they've actually screen printed onto this t-shirt, but I wanted to make it a bit more textural and 3D because I wanted to be able to almost imagine it was me carrying some pumpkins through a pumpkin patch. And then also I wanted to make it a bit more Day of the Dead with the hands so that I could put little crystals into it. So I set to work painting this. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Now what I did was actually paint the pumpkins onto a separate piece of fabric. So I used again the cotton drill, and then I was going to sew it onto the t-shirt that I had bought. I really enjoyed painting this. I was able to use a variety of my fabric paints and really do different techniques. To make all the diamantes stick in, I actually painted the skeleton hands and then just put all the crystals into it. So it sat perfectly and I didn't have to hot glue anything. Was the most simplest DIY that I created. Again, I found inspo from another amazing designer and I really wanted to create my own version of it. So I took some of my favorite little illustrations I saw of pumpkins throughout the internet, and then I decided to place them on multiple little sections of the t-shirt. Of course, without a doubt, we had to do as many jack-o'-lanterns as possible because they come in all shapes and sizes. Then we've got pumpkin soup, pumpkins that are a bit warped, pumpkins that are artistic, and of course we cannot forget Cinderella's pumpkin. And by doing this technique, I just used the fabric paint and lightly painted it on, not squirting it like I did previously, but just a gentle paint, and it turned out really, really well. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you that in case we do go into a second lockdown, that you can still be really artistic and have a fantastic Halloween, even though you might not be able to go outside or do the things that you once did before. There are still so many different things you can do to enjoy this spooky season and also have amazing new clothes. God forbid when I start work again and I turn up in my first week covered in Halloween garments. I'm so sorry. It's going to happen. So if you did like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And also, let's make it as positive energy so we can definitely go to Salem for Halloween next year and the borders open up again. Oh, because I think if I go to Salem next year, I'm finally going to make that costume. You know, that costume. And also subscribe because I'm going to be making 2 costumes for the spooky season. One has taken me about 16 years to make so far because it's already got so much hand sewing, and the other one's going to be very, very kooky. I cannot wait to show you because they're going to be 2 extremes, but they're going to look so amazing, and I'm going to wear them down to the shops even though they think I'm insane. But until next time, have a very spooky week.